Welcome to part 5 of Let's Play Temple of Terror by Ian Livingstone. At the end of the last part I was on paragraph 17. Let's reread this paragraph as a reminder. Okay, the corridor ends at a doorway which is made of iron. You turn the handle and enter an empty room which has two doors leading from it, one to your left and one to your right. If you wish to open the door to your left, turn to 298. If you wish to open the door to your right, turn to 216. Okay, we are going to open the door to our left and turn to 298. Here we are. The door opens into a room which is completely empty. There is a mosaic floor which has an abstract pattern except for the area in front of the door in the opposite wall where there is the head of Medusa. I'm very glad that they said head of Medusa and not head of a Medusa. It really annoys me when they say that. There's, Medusa is the name of one of the Gorgons, so it's head of Medusa. There's only one Medusa. It's just stupid when people say head of a Medusa. It's just mental. Anyway, on the door there is a small box with a slot on its top. You walk up to the door, turn the handle and find that it is unlocked. If you wish to put a gold piece into the box before stepping through the doorway, turn to 214. If you would rather walk through without making a donation, turn to 268. Okay, we are going to walk through without making a donation and turn to 268. Although light shines through the open door, you can see nothing beyond the doorway. If you can and wish to cast a light spell, turn to 383. If you wish to step slowly into total darkness, turn to 326. Okay, we are going to cast a light spell. Yeah, we're going to cast a light spell. 383 because we have some light spells. Yep. Yeah, so turn to 383. Whoops, wrong way. Once you have uttered the words of the spell, deduct 2 stamina points. The corridor beyond the doorway is suddenly illuminated by bright light, but you have fallen into the hands of the messenger of death. A large letter A is painted on the door at the end of the corridor, and you cannot avoid seeing it. Lose 4 stamina points as a result of the shock. Okay, so that's 6 stamina points lost in total, so that's 15 first of all, and then 11. Brilliant. Let's use some provisions. That puts me up to 15 again. I can only use 1 per paragraph. The only consolation you have is that you see a blade which is set between the walls at knee height, and you are able to step over it without injury. Cursing your bad luck, you open the door at the end of the corridor. Turn to 79. Okay. 79, here we come. The door opens into a candle-lit chamber which has a strong, musty smell. The floor is covered with debris, scraps of rotting food, matted hair, ash, teeth, and animal droppings. When the door behind you closes, the door in front of you flies open, and a deformed, one-eyed mutant lumbers into the room, brandishing a silver rod. A bolt of white light shoots out from the rod and burns a black patch on the floor by your feet. The sun has set outside, and the night horror is stalking the corridors of Vatos in search of prey. If you wish to use your sword against this loathsome creature, turn to 85. If you would rather search through your backpack for some other weapon, turn to 309. Okay, there he is. Okay, we're going to search through our backpack for some other weapon and turn to 309. As you sling your backpack off your shoulders, another bolt of light shoots out from the rod. Test your luck. If you are lucky, turn to 145. If you are unlucky, turn to 121. Okay, so our luck is currently 11. So we need this dice roll to be 11 or less. Good. Get rid of the buzzing, and we have to deduct a luck point, so we're down to 10. Yeah, we were lucky, turn to 145. The bolt of light flies past your head and scorches the wall behind you. What item will you pull from your backpack? A brass handbell, turn to 198. A sandworm's tooth, turn to 331. A mirror, turn to 22. Oh, that's it. Or a mirror, turn to 22. We are going to use brass handbell. Yeah, 198. Because we do have a brass handbell. Yep, there it is. So, 198, here we come. You ring the bell and watch with pleasure as the night horror drops its rod and tries to cover its ears with its deformed hands. It screams in silent agony and then collapses onto the floor. But your delight is short-lived because you hear a grating sound above you. The silver rod, out of the hands of its owner, has magically triggered a mechanism in the stone ceiling which is starting to lower on top of you. You run to open one of the doors, but both are firmly locked and cannot be opened, even by Yazstromo's spell. Will you pick up the silver rod, turn to 290, try a crystal key in the door, if you have one, turn to 150, or try to burn a hole in the door with a fire spell, if you know it, turn to 239. Any more? No. Okay, first of all, we've used the brass handbell, although we still have it. It's not really used, is it? It's not really perishable, so I won't say we've used it, actually. Anyway, we are going to pick up the silver rod and turn to 290. You seize the silver rod, and to your immense relief, the ceiling stops its descent. You wonder how to open the door opposite the one through which you entered. If you have a crystal key or are able to cast an open door spell, turn to 178. If you do not possess a crystal key and are unable to cast the spell, turn to 366. Okay, wait a minute. 198. I'm confused here. It says, and cannot be opened even by Yazstromo's spell. Both are firmly locked and cannot be opened by Yazstromo's spell. Then it offers us to use the spell to open the door, but it just said we couldn't. Maybe that's why we're going to be unsuccessful. Anyway, we are going to use a crystal key because we have a crystal key. I hope. Yes, there it is, crystal key. There we go, so we're going to use that. And then we're going to go to 178. He was nice, wasn't he? That bloke. Anyway, 178. Using your chosen method to unlock the door, if you use the spell, deduct 2 stamina points, which makes no sense because it said the doors couldn't be opened by one of Yazstromo's spells, and then we, in theory, using a spell, and then it works, so that's a bit silly, isn't it? If you use the spell, deduct 2 stamina points, we shouldn't be able to. You step through the doorway into another room. You toss the silver rod back through the doorway and hear the grating noise of the ceiling beginning to lower again. That's quite funny. You know, sort of like, you know, you get the last laugh and the night horror is going to be crushed or whatever. Or, going to be crushed, I should say. Knowing that you are safe from attack from behind, you look around the room in which you now find yourself. Turn to 2. Okay, so we've used the crystal key, so used. Can't remember where I got it, to be honest. And we're going to turn to 2. The room is small and sparsely furnished, with just a table and chair. A chisel and mallet are lying on the chair, and the floor is covered with wood shavings. On the wall to your left is a large wooden carving, 2 yards by 3 yards in size. It depicts a scene of the lost city being attacked by giant sandworms. If you wish to take a closer look at the wood carving, turn to 302. If you'd rather walk through the door in the wall opposite, turn to 93. Okay, we're going to take a closer look at the wood carving and turn to 302. The carving is very intricate and must have taken months to complete. You look at the buildings and suddenly notice that there is a hairline crack running at roof level. You find that one of the roofs lifts up and the inside of the building has been hollowed out. Your luck is in, for inside the must mean we have good luck. Your luck is in, for inside the building is a small dragon carved out of ebony. Add 1 luck point for discovering a dragon artifact. Okay, so we have an ebony dragon. So that's good. And we also gain a luck point, so we're back up to 11 luck again. And that's good. You smile to yourself and slip it into your pocket before opening the door in the wall opposite. Turn to 93. Okay, there's the carving or whatever. Lovely. And we're turning to 93. The door opens into a large hall which is lined with armour and weapons. At the far end of the hall there is an altar on a raised plinth where 3 men with sallow skin are ceremoniously clothing themselves in... Oh, sorry, I was just reading that again. Are ceremoniously clothing themselves in dark brown robes. You know, sometimes when you're reading, but it's sort of like automatic and you're not really taking in what you read. I just had that. I was sort of thinking about something else, but still reading, but not taking in what I'm reading. Anyway, one of them sees you and signals to the others. They each pick up a sickle and advance towards you. They are dark disciples. If you wish to tell them that you have come with a gift for Lisha, the High Priestess of Vatos, turn to 11. If you would rather fight them, turn to 188. Okay, here they are. They look very menacing. Dark disciples. I've always found sandals very uncomfortable. That bit that goes between your 4th toe and your big toe is... it really chafes my feet. I don't like wearing sandals, personally. Anyway, we're going to tell them that we have come with a gift for Lisha, the High Priestess of Vatos, and turn to 11. Off we go. If you are wearing a gold medallion with a heart engraved on it, turn to 258. If you are not wearing the medallion, test your luck. If you are lucky, turn to 284. If you are unlucky, turn to 71. Okay, we are not wearing a gold medallion, so we're going to have to test our luck. Okay, so we need this to be less than or equal to 11 again, because our luck has gone up to 11, because we found the ebony dragon. And we get a 4, so we were lucky, that's good. Get rid of the buzzing. But we've used a luck point, so we're down to 10 again. Sort of oscillating between 11 and 10, this, isn't it? The luck, I mean. Anyway, so turn to 284. Off we go. The Dark Disciples believe your story, but say that they cannot allow you to take the gift to Lisha herself. They say they will take it to her on your behalf. Deduct 1 item from your equipment list. Okay. We are going to give up the monkey tail, because we don't really need that. Where is it? So, where's my monkey tail? Monkey's tail, there we go. So, used. Need a parenthesis, lovely. So we've given up the monkey. I'll just say given, actually. Given, yeah, given, not used. Haven't used it. Given. Whoops, giveb. Anyway, given. So we've given the monkey's tail to Lisha as a gift. Anyway, as they begin to argue about which of them should take the gift to Lisha, you slip past them and walk towards the archway in the wall behind the altar. Turn to 341. Yeah, if we weren't lucky there, we'd have to fight all 3 of them. So, yeah. It's one of those things, isn't it? Anyway, the archway has an elaborate surround of carved stone. You look through the archway into a corridor and see what looks like a shimmering gold curtain at the far end. Mounted along the walls are swords gripped by stone hands. Holding your sword tightly, you step warily along the corridor. As soon as you reach the first sword, its stone arm jerks into life and attacks you, while the other three cut through the air, awaiting their turn. First sword, second sword, third sword, fourth sword. If you win, turn to 191. So we're obviously doing it one at a time because awaiting their turn. So we've got lots of swords to fight. Dear, oh dear. Right. I've got to make some of these now, don't I? There we go. Just copy and paste. Anyway, so first sword. Just copy the word sword, and then I can just. Then all I need to do is write second, then do Control V. There we go. Third, and then fourth sword. Okay, they're all 6-4. Right, off we go. Do them one at a time. Anyway, my skill is still 11. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. Skill is still. Anyway, so rolling for him first. That's 6 plus 11 is 17. I get 20. 17 to 20. A bit worried there because that was a pretty good score for him, or it. Anyway, it takes him down to 2. 6 plus 10 is 16. I get, there we go, 15. Famous last words, whatever. 16 to 15. Means I've lost 2 stamina points. Brilliant. Right, off we go. It doesn't bode well for the first sword, does it? Okay, 6 plus 5 is 11, and I get 21. 11 to 21. Whoops. Yep, there we go. Right, puts him down to 0. Right, so we've got 6 and 4 again. Right, the same thing. 6 plus 6 is 12. I get 20. 12 to 20. Puts him down to 2, and then 6 plus 8 is 14, and I get 16. 14 to 16. Good. That's the end of second sword. Okay, third sword, 6-4. Okay, 6 plus 3 is 9, and I get 17. 9 to 17. I mean, it only has a chance of hurting me if it gets 8 or more, really, because if it gets 13, there's no way I can only get... If I get lowest I can get is a 2, which is 13, so it only has a chance of hurting me if it has 8. So, yeah. Anyway, so that puts it down to 2. Next, 6 plus 4 is 10, I get 15. 10 to 15. That puts him down to 0. Okay, last one. 12, 19. That was 12 to 19. Alright, next, last one I hope. Oh dear. 17 to 19, that was lucky. Good, 17 to 19. That's the 4 swords dealt with, although how you can kill a stone sword I'm not entirely sure. Alright, gets rid of that, and we won, so let's turn to 191. Let's have a look at the picture quickly because it's pretty. There we go, lovely. There we are. Okay, 191. You've had your fill of the picture, now let's move on. When you reach the end of the corridor, you realise that it was not a shimmering curtain that you saw, but a fine spray of golden rain which cascades from a series of holes in the ceiling into a shallow trough in the floor. The corridor turns left at the point where the golden rain falls and stretches to the left as far as you can see. If you wish to keep walking along the corridor, turn to 249. If you would rather step through the golden rain, turn to 254. Okay, we're going to step through the golden rain and turn to 354. Oakley dokley. Oh dear. Okay, although the golden rain feels wet on your skin, you remain completely dry. You step into a luxurious chamber whose walls are decorated with frescoes and paintings. The floor is made of polished marble, and on it stand several low tables. And on it stand several low tables. I didn't realise that was a semicolon. Need my glasses. Anyway, cushions are scattered around the shining floor. A huge bare-chested man with a bald head, clad in baggy silk pants, they mean trousers, right, is standing with his feet apart at the far end of the room. His hands are resting on the hilt of a curved sword. On seeing you, he immediately strides forward to attack. He is a slave guard of the outer temple. Slave guard, skill 8, stamina 8. If you win, turn to 235. Let's have a look at him. There we go, lovely. It's a nice moustache he has. Nasty looking sword though. Anyway, so slave guard 8-8. Right, slave guard. Reminds me of the slave warriors from Portal of Evil. I do like that book. Anyway, 8-8. One of my favourites, my second favourite of the Fighting Fantasy series, Portal of Evil. It's probably got some nostalgia value because it was one of the ones I first read. Apart from Warlock of Firetop Mountain, of course. That was the first one I read. Anyway, so my skill is 11, his is 8. Let's go. 8 plus 8 is 16. I get 17. So 16 to 17. Puts him down to 4. No, it doesn't. It puts him down to 6. I'm being stupid. I can't even count. There we go. Blimey. Puts him down to 6. Nearly cheated there, didn't I? 8 plus 7 is 15. I get 18. So 15 to 18. Right, now that puts him down to 4. 8 plus 2 is 10. I get 17. So 10 to 17. Puts him down to 2. Here we go, won't jinx myself, here we go. 8 plus 5 is 13, I get 19, good. Didn't jinx myself. 13 to 19, and I win. That's the end of Mr. Slave Guard, and he's dead. Good, and the buzzing's gone automatically. Good, right. Well, wasn't any buzzing anyway, since the last roll. Anyway, turn to 235 if you win. It is now far into the night, and the strenuous efforts of the day have left you feeling tired and thirsty. You find a bowl of water on one of the tables, which you empty down your throat in seconds. Brilliant, now I'm thirsty. Made me realise how thirsty I am. Too fatigued to go on, you lie down in the corner of the room on the soft, inviting cushions in order to rest. If you let yourself fall asleep, turn to 267. If you stay awake, turn to 131. Okay, we're going to let ourselves fall asleep and turn to 267. You awake with a start when you hear a deep humming coming from the corridor on the other side of the golden rain. The sleep has refreshed you, and you jump up feeling alert. Add 2 stamina points. Thank you, I will. Puts you back up to 15. What the sword did to me. I think I'll use some provisions as well, actually. Put me up to 19. Why not? Near maximum, isn't it? Sort of near maximum. Takes me down to 2 provisions. Anyway, there is a door behind the drapes, but it is locked and there is no time to open it. If you wish to hide behind the drapes, turn to 44. If you wish to confront whoever is coming into the chamber, turn to 227. We are going to hide behind the drapes and turn to 44. Through the semi-transparent drapes, or translucent drapes, you can just see a white-robed man enter the chamber carrying a golden chalice. He is wearing a headdress which is fastened by a gold clasp in the shape of a phoenix with its wings flat against its forehead. When the priest sees the slave guard, he drops to his knees and presses his ear against the dead man's chest. Then he looks up and, after quickly surveying the chamber, runs out again without noticing you. Wasting no time, you set about opening the door. Turn to 336. Surprised you didn't give him the kiss. I thought he was going to give him the kiss of life then for a second. Anyway, if you wish to cast an open door spell, turn to 369. If you wish to hack the lock open with your sword, turn to 68. Okay, we're going to hack the lock open with our sword and turn to 68. You chop furiously at the lock until it finally gives way. The door opens into a corridor which you walk down which you walk until you reach two doors at the end. One door has the symbol of the sun in relief on it, and the other door bears the symbol of the moon. There are also strange signs carved below both the sun and the moon. Will you cast a read symbol spell if you are able to? Turn to 255. Open the sun door with the funny symbols, turn to 243, or open the moon door with the funny symbols and turn to 273. Okay, here are the doors in question. Looks like one of those suns that's on those sort of tarot cards and on those weird sort of new age hippie things that you get in those sort of gift shops. Anyway, we're going to open the moon door and we're going to turn to 273. The door opens into a narrow, sloping corridor which leads into another chamber. The walls are covered with hieroglyphics, and there are 3 clay pots standing on top of a stone table. Will you lift the lid of the white pot? Turn to 14. Lift the lid of the black pot. Turn to 156. Lift the lid of the red pot. Turn to 183, or walk through the chamber to the archway in the far wall. Turn to 20. Is that the end of it? Yeah. Okay, we are going to lift the lid of the white pot and turn to 14. Inside the pot you find a copper ring which has a lightning bolt engraved on it. Will you place the ring on your finger, turn to 277, lift the lid of the black pot, turn to 156, lift the lid of the red pot, turn to 183, or walk through the chamber to the archway in the far wall, turn to 20. We are going to place the ring on our finger, so turn to 277. Nothing happens when you put the ring on your finger and you decide to leave it on. Okay, we have a copper ring. Every time I put on a ring now, which is quite rare, I think to myself, oh, something's going to happen, because I keep reading these books. Every time you put a ring on in any of these books, something happens. But of course, in the real world, nothing's going to happen, is it? Apart from maybe the ring getting stuck on your finger and you have to sort of put a bit of butter on it to get it off, which is annoying. Anyway, what am I doing? Talking rubbish, there we go. Anyway, now we are going to walk through the chamber to the archway in the far wall and turn to 20. Beyond the archway, the corridor is well lit and in good order. There is no sand or dirt on the floor, and the statues and carvings on the walls show no signs of deterioration. The corridor soon ends at a door which you discover is open. I'll say that again. The corridor soon ends at a door which you discover is open. There we are. You enter an empty room with one other door in the far wall and a trapdoor in the floor. If you wish to open the door, turn to 307. If you wish to open the trapdoor, turn to 397. We are going to open the door in the far wall and turn to 307. Okay, the door opens and you walk into a room filled with treasure. There are chalices, statuettes, chests filled with gems, caskets, and hundreds of fabulous artifacts. Will you help yourself to some of the gems, turn to 143, take the golden skeleton statuette, turn to 386, open the golden casket, turn to 82, or leave the room by the door opposite, turn to 3. We are going to take the golden skeleton statuette and turn to 386. The statuette is heavy in your hand and is worth an unbelievable fortune. If you succeed in your mission, you will have been more than amply rewarded. Add 1 luck point. Let's see, back up to 11 again. It's still oscillating between 10 and 11. You place the statuette in your backpack and decide what to do next. Will you help yourself to some of the gems, turn to 143, open the golden casket, turn to 82, or leave the room by the door opposite and turn to 3? Okay, we're going to leave the room by the door opposite and turn to 3. The door opens into another corridor which is well lit and appears to be in regular use. If you wish to go left, turn to 320. If you wish to go right, turn to 358. We're going to go right and turn to 358. You come across a bowl on a marble column. The bowl is filled with grapes which look fresh and juicy. If you wish to eat the grapes, turn to 112. If you'd rather continue without eating, turn to 237. We're going to eat the grapes and turn to 112. The grapes taste as good as they look, and they have also been grown for a special purpose. They contain magical healing properties. Add 4 stamina points. When you have eaten your fill, you walk on further down the corridor. Turn to 237. Great, now I want some grapes. Okay, so that puts my stamina up to 23. That's quite good, isn't it? Turn to 237. I think I'll have some grapes later. Anyway, the corridor ends at an archway which is covered by a black curtain. There is a skull carved out of the stone above the archway. Despite its ominous appearance, you throw back the curtain and step through the archway. You enter a small chamber which appears to be the annex of a larger chamber which appears to be the... I've read the same line again. You enter a small chamber which appears to be the annex of a larger chamber beyond the archway in the wall opposite. But your immediate concern is with the creatures who are standing guard on either side of the archway. They have human bodies and skeletal heads. Each wears a strange helmet in the shape of a sphinx. In a rasping voice, one of the skeleton men confronts you, saying, "Give good reason to intrude on the domain of Leisha or die." Both of them stride towards you with their spears pointed at you. Will you cast a creature sleep spell if you are able to? Turn to 371. Tell them that you have brought Leisha a giant sandworm's tooth if you have one. Turn to 294. Or attack them with your sword. Turn to 211. Okay, we're going to attack them with our sword and turn to 211. So there they are, lovely, very menacing. Okay, 211, here we come. Oh dear. Skeleton men are fanatics who always fight to the death. They will be difficult to defeat. Well, every creature in this game is fighting to the death. First skeleton man... Again, it doesn't... Oh, yes, it does. Fight them one at a time. Now it tells me. First skeleton man, 9-6. Second skeleton man, 9-8. Fight them one at a time. If you win, turn to 53. Okay, first skeleton man. Let's do this. Skeleton man. Okay, 9-6. Let's do this. Affirmative control, let's do this. Remember that on World's Scariest Police Chases on level 14 with the tanks? I do. Anyway, obviously. Anyway, yeah, 9, 6 and 9, 8. Okay, 9 plus 4 is 13. I get 17. 13 to 17. I draw first blood. Like Rambo's enemies. Anyway, it takes him down to 4. Right. Well, in the first film, anyway. Sheriff Teasel, whatever his name is. Anyway, 9 plus 5 is 14. I get 20. 14 to 20. Puts him down to 2. 9 plus 10 is 19. I get 16. 19 to 16. Does me damage. 21. Where am I? Alright, yeah. 9 plus 6 is 15. I get 20. 15 to 20. Right, that's first Mr. Skeleton Man dead. Next one, second Skeleton Man. His was 9-8, wasn't it? Alright, 9 plus 3 is 12. I get 18. 12 to 18. Puts him down to 6. Now he's equal with the other one at the start. 9 plus 6 is 15. I get 20. 15 to 20. I'm going to say it. I'm doing quite well here. See if the famous last words curse gets me. 9 plus... There we go. 19. It really did as well. 19 to 13. Brilliant. It really did as well. Oh dear. It's my own fault, really, wasn't it? My own fault. Okay, new line. Puts me down to 19. Where is this Leisha character? I really want to meet her now. 9 plus 7 is 16. I get 19. 16 to 19. Puts him down to 2. 9 plus 8 is 17. I get 20. 17 to 20. Puts him down to 0, and that's the end of Mr. Skeleton Man. Second Skeleton Man. So that's that. They're defeated. No buzzing. Let's go on to 53. You do not waste any time searching the bodies of the skeleton men, but run through the archway into another chamber beyond. Turn to 119. Oh, here she is, finally. Oh, she's quite... I have to say this. Hubba hubba, I think I'm in love. You walk through the archway and up a flight of marble steps into a luxurious chamber which has a high ceiling supported by parallel lines of marble pillars. Between the pillars there is a beautiful hand-woven red carpet which leads up to another short flight of steps. At the top of the steps, lying on a couch strewn with satin cushions, is a beautiful woman. Hubba hubba. She is being fanned by an ugly, bald-headed creature. He has the muscular torso of a man, but his face is gaunt and his eyes are milky white. You have entered the inner temple of Leisha. She smiles, snaps her fingers, and her blind servant lumbers down the steps to attack you. Servant, skill 8, stamina 8. If you win, turn to 73. There she is. Oh, give me one evening with her. Right, okay, skill 8, stamina 8. Yeah. What's he called? Servant, right. Servant, I've accidentally put. Okay, skill 8, stamina 8. Okay. Okay, what are we doing? We are rolling for him. 8 plus 3 is 11. I get 20. 11 to 20. Puts him down to 6. Okay, 8 plus 9 is 17. I get 18. 17 to 18. Whoops. Puts him down to 4. That's close, actually. 8 plus 5 is 13. I get 16. 13 to 16. 2. 8 plus 5 is 13. I get 15. 13 to 15. And that's the end of Mr. Servant without any damage from him. Okay, so that's the end of that. Okay, we won, turn to 73. One last look at the hubba hubba. Very nice. Okay, 73. Well, that was lucky. Leisha appears surprised that you have managed to. Leisha appears surprised that you have managed to enter her inner temple and defeat all her guards. She rises from her couch and steps towards you, holding aloft a shiny black crescent-shaped object. If you can and wish to fight her using a giant sandworm's tooth, turn to 219. If you wish to attack her with your sword, turn to 282. Okay. We're going to fight her using a giant sandworm's tooth. Turn to 219 because we definitely have one of them. Leisha's facial expression changes suddenly from one of smug superiority to a look of horror. Invulnerable to ordinary weapons, her only weakness is being attacked with the jagged edge of a giant sandworm's tooth. On seeing your weapon, she flees from the temple through a door in the wall behind the couch. If you wish to open the chest lying beside the couch, turn to 265. If you would rather run through the doorway after Leisha, turn to 137. Okay, we are going to run through the doorway after Leisha and turn to 137. Now the door leads into a hallway, at the end of which you see Leisha disappearing through another doorway. There is a bronze idol in the shape of a dog standing in the middle of the hallway. If you wish to stop and inspect the idol, turn to 186. If you'd rather follow Leisha, turn to 47. We want to stop and inspect the idol, so we're turning to 186. You notice that the idol's mouth is hinged, and you find that the lower jaw drops open when you pull down on its left ear. Inside the dog's mouth, you find an artifact that you have been seeking, a small golden dragon. You quickly place it in your pocket and chase after Leisha. Turn to 47. Okay, brilliant. We've got a golden dragon. Blimey, I fought a lot of creatures. Blimey. Okay, golden dragon. That's good. Except no luck this time. Turn to 47. You run through the doorway into a cross passage. To your left you see Leisha at the end of the passage opening an iron door. To your right you see a dwarf crawling towards you on his hands and knees. His face is red and blistered and he appears delirious with sunstroke. He seems to recognise you and calls out in a gruff voice. If you wish to keep chasing after Leisha, turn to 314. If you wish to speak to the dwarf, turn to 171. And there he is. We're going to speak to the dwarf and turn to 171. You run to the dwarf's side and learn that he is an envoy from Stonebridge sent by Yazdromo. He has brought you the legendary warhammer of Stonebridge with which to smash the dragon artifacts. Nothing other than a warhammer can destroy the dragons. He also tells you that a mage told him that it is vital that the dragon found nearest to the entrance to the catacombs must be destroyed. Must be destroyed first, yeah. The dwarf's speech becomes more and more laboured until he finally slumps down onto the floor. There's nothing you can do to help the valiant dwarf, but you feel more determined than ever to finish the mission successfully. Clutching the fabled warhammer, you run down the passageway to the iron door through which Leisha disappeared. Turn to 314. Okay, we have a warhammer. Oh yeah, it's warhammer hyphenated, sorry. There we are. Alright, turn to 314. You push on the iron door and it swings slowly inwards. You enter a cold room with a high vaulted ceiling. The room is featureless and Leisha is nowhere to be seen. There is, however, a circular pit in the middle of the room. Sensing that time is short, you decide to check your possessions. If you have collected 5 dragon artifacts, turn to 35. If you have not found all 5 of the dragon artifacts, turn to 160. Okay, we have collected 5 dragon artifacts. We have Bone Dragon, Crystal Dragon, Silver Dragon, Ebony Dragon, and Golden Dragon. So we have all 5, or at least 5 of them. So 35 here we come. You take each of the dragons and place them on the floor. You look at them carefully and ponder their dormant power. Which dragon will you attempt to crush first? The Bone Dragon, turn to 87. The Silver Dragon, turn to 126. The Crystal Dragon, turn to 204. The Golden Dragon, turn to 62. Or the Ebony Dragon, turn to 224. Do we have a bone one? Yeah, we do have a bone one, so I'm being stupid. Yeah, or the ebony dragon, turn to 324. Okay, we are going to crush the bone dragon. Turn to 87. The artifact looks harmless lying on the floor, but you suspect that destroying it will not be an easy matter. If you are carrying a warhammer, turn to 362. If you do not have this weapon, turn to 193. Okay, we do have a warhammer, we just got it, so 362, here we come. You raise the warhammer into the air and bring it crashing down on top of the bone dragon. The artifact splinters into tiny fragments and you allow yourself a smile of satisfaction. You raise the warhammer a second time but suddenly hear the sound of thunder coming from the depths of the pit. Turn to 288. Okay, so we've destroyed the bone dragon. So I'll just say smashed. Whoops, not snashed, smashed. There we go. A man's head suddenly appears from the pit, his face a manifestation of evil. The ground below him rises up slowly until his feet are level with the floor. With the floor of the room. He walks slowly towards you, saying, "Give me the dragons I seek." You shrink back, uncertain of what terrible powers Malbordus might possess. He suddenly claps his hands together and a deafening thunderbolt shatters the silence of the room. Cracks appear in the floor and walls and the pain in your ears is unbearable. If you are wearing a copper ring, turn to 334. If you are not wearing a copper ring, turn to 351. Okay, we are wearing a copper ring, because I talked about it a bit, didn't I, about rings and how I expect them to do things. So 334, here we come. There's Malbordus. 334. Here we are. The ring you found in the pot is a ring of protection. The pain in your ears quickly fades away and you are able to draw your faithful sword to fight a last desperate battle. Turn to 380. Here we go. Malbordus realizes that you are invulnerable to his magic powers and draws his cursed sword to attack you. Malbordus, skill 10, stamina 18. If you win, turn to 400. Okay. Here we go, the final battle. 10-18. We have 20. Why did I meant 19 stamina. I've actually put 29. Quite cheap, can I? Anyway, 19. Anyway, Malbordus. Just as well, we have one of these things left. So Malbordus. Skill 10, stamina 18. Okay, the final battle. Bet I've spelt Malbordus wrong. And I have. It's with a U. Okay, so skill 10, stamina 18. Let's do this. Okay, 10 plus 7 is 17. I get 18. So 17 to 18. Okay, first blood goes to me. There we are. 10 plus 8 is 18, I get 16, so 18 to 16. I'm going to test my luck, because I have 11 luck, I might as well use it. And that means I only get off 1 stamina point, so this needs to be 11 or less, which it was. So I'm lucky, but I've used a luck point. So it only means I take off 1 stamina point, and because it is the last battle, I might as well. And of course I've used a luck point. Okay, 10 plus 8 is 18, and I get 15. I can't be bothered to do that again. So, yeah, 18 to 15. Okay, next, 10 plus 6 is 16, I get 16, so it's 16 all. No one wins. Right. 10 plus 5 is 15, I get 20. 15 to 20. Puts them down to 14. Okay, 10 plus 9 is 19, I get 14. 19 to 14. Going to use some luck again, so this needs to be 10 or less, which it is, but I've used a luck point, so that means I only take off 1 stamina point, puts you down to 15, and puts you down to 9 luck points. There we go. Okay, 10 plus 3 is 13, I get 13, brilliant. So 13 all. Okay, 10 plus 5 is 15, I get 19, so 15 to 19. Puts them down to 12. 10 plus 7 is 17, I get 15. 17 to 15. I'm going to use luck one more time, I think. 9 or less. Which it was, good, I was lucky, but I've used a luck point. So that means I only take off 1 point, but then puts me down to 8 luck points. Okay, getting more risky now. Okay. 10 plus 22, 17. Seems to have affected my luck in other ways. 17, that puts me down to 12. Okay, 10 plus 6 is 16, I get 19. So 16 to 19. Puts them down to 10. Whoops, wrong one. There we go. Okay, 10 plus 7 is 17, I get 18. 17 to 18. Puts them down to 8. Okay, 10 plus 22 to 20. Puts me down to 10. It's very close, this one, isn't it? Okay, 10 plus 4 is 14 to 19. Even though I have already died in this, haven't I? So I'm effectively cheating anyway, but I've already died in this once, in this playthrough. Anyway, puts them down to 6. 10 plus 5 is 15 to 16. Good, 15, and I get 16. I like it when we get the same number, because it means I win. Alright, well, I like it when I win, though, anyway. Beside the point. Anyway, 10 plus 3 is 13, I get 19. 13 to 19. There we go, puts them down to 2. Famous last words. 16, yeah, there we go. 16 to 14. Always jinx myself, don't I? Don't know why I do it. Makes life exciting. Anyway, 10 plus 7 is 17. I get 16. Here we go. 17 to 16. Just realised I should have put myself down by 2 there, shouldn't I? Puts me down to 6, doesn't it? Yeah, it's just lost 2 in a row there, didn't I? Yeah. Yeah, so I should have put myself down. Yeah, I should be on 6 now. Anyway, 10 plus 7 is 17. I get 17, so doesn't make any difference, but I'll put it anyway. 17 to 17. Right, next. 10 plus 9 is 19 to 17. He wins. Puts me down to 4 stamina. Right, okay, 10 plus 5 is 15 to 20. Yes, I win, finally. Okay, 15 to 20. Puts him down to 0. And that's the end of Mr. Malbordus. Good. Get rid of the buzzing. Let's read the rest of the book. Okay, if you win, turn to 400, which we did. So 400, here we come. I didn't have to do that one again. Repeat that again. So I've only died once in this playthrough. Here we are. Malbordus is killed, and the remaining... Let me have a look and see. Did I spell it right? Malbordus. Yeah. Yeah, Malbordus. Okay, Malbordus is killed, and the remaining dragon artifacts lie waiting to be destroyed. You bring the warhammer crashing down on them time and time again, so that no man or being might ever gain... I'll start again. Malbordus is killed and the remaining dragon artifacts lie waiting to be destroyed. You bring the warhammer crashing down on them time and time again so that no man or being might ever again have the opportunity of using their power. In time, the Dark Elves of Darkwood Forest will learn of their leader's defeat and will shrink back into the shadows of the forest. Your ordeal inside the Temple of Terror has saved Alanzia. Maybe rename the temple as well. Call it the wacky fun house of wondrousness and beauty. You know, not Temple of Terror. You know, and then maybe someone like Malbordus won't set up shop there. Anyway, your ordeal inside the Temple of Terror has saved Alanzia. You will now be able to journey proudly back to Stonebridge and return the Warhammer to King Gillibrand, or Gillibrand, whatever. No doubt Yazdromo will teach you some more of his magic, and perhaps you will have the chance to spend some of the riches you have found. Whew, that was good, wasn't it? Only died once in that. That's a tough book. It's a classic Ian Livingstone with finding the artifacts and really difficult last boss. But yeah, really difficult book that. This video's gone on a bit to 55-ish minutes, so that's because I wanted to complete the game in this video, not do another video. Because if I had done another video, the next video would only been like 15 minutes long, so there's no point. Anyway, so that's that. Thank you for watching. Let's play Temple of Terror. In the next video, I will do what's the next book in the series? The Rings of Kether. I'll do the Rings of Kether, or maybe I'll do a video game, I don't know. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and goodbye.